Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for this Redmi Y2, and this is the successor to the Redmi Y1, but this Y2 takes a big change, I would say, and now it's sort of a mini, I would say, Redmi Note 5 Pro. But is it a true replacement for the Redmi Note 5 Pro? Let's find out in this review, and I'll be dividing the review between the pros and cons. I've got a huge list, but before that, here are the specs for the Redmi Y2. As you can see, it is powered by the Snapdragon 625 chipset, which is an octa-core processor, and it is having a 5.99-inch screen in the 18:9 aspect ratio, but it's just a 720p HD plus screen. It comes with 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM and 32 or 64 GB of internal storage. Moving to the camera, it has a dual rear-facing camera with a 12 and a 5 megapixel sensor, and the front-facing camera is a 16 megapixel shooter. So let's now quickly jump between the pros and cons, what I liked about this device, and what are the things that I feel Xiaomi is not doing right and playing around with our minds. So first, let's talk about the pros, what I liked about this device. And it's a modern looking device. As you can see, the base variant is selling for rupees 10,000 rupees, and I frankly feel that is the one that you should go if you're planning to buy this, because the other variant that comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 GB of storage comes for 13,000, and I frankly feel that simply does not offer any value for money. But in terms of looks, as you can see, it looks really good. In fact, it looks very similar to the Redmi Note 5 Pro from a distance, but when you hold it, there's quite a bit of difference. The Redmi Note 5 Pro is definitely a more premium device. Now, in terms of another thing that I am actually, if you look at the phone from outside like this, it looks really good, stylish, and it gives you a feeling that the back is also metallic. It's just a paint job. Actually, the body of this one is plastic, unlike the Redmi Note 5 Pro, which comes with metal. So this can be a con, I would say. Though because of the plastic back, the phone feels considerably lighter compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now moving to another thing, and this is very, very surprising because I thought that this might be a major con for this device, but the battery is just 3080 milliamp hour, which is considerably less if we compare it with the regular Redmi Note 5. But Xiaomi has optimized this phone actually really well, and it comes with the new MIUI 9.5, sorry. And in terms of battery life, they have optimized it like crazy. The amount of standby battery life that I was getting with this device is insane. So I was actually really worried about the battery life, considering it has just a 3080 milliamp hour battery. But you don't have to worry. As you can see from the charts, you can get some very good battery life, easily about 1.5 days. And if you're sort of a casual user, over 2 days, because it hardly consumes any power when it is not used. So the idle drain is actually really, really low, which was actually very surprising. So no issues regarding the battery life. Now moving to another thing that I like is that in terms of speaker, though it's just having a single speaker, it is adequately loud and clear. Yes, at the maximum volume levels, it gets a little bit tinny and shrill, but in terms of loudness, I was never worried. In fact, when I was watching YouTube videos, etc. on this, I was not keeping the volume levels at max, which I generally have to do with almost every smartphone out there. I was keeping it 1 or 2 levels below the max. Now, another thing that I like with this one is that Xiaomi didn't skimp on the sensors on this phone. So it has all the important sensors like auto brightness, even gyroscope is there. And in fact, even has the IR blaster, using which you can control devices like, air conditioner, television. So you can use it like a remote controller. Also, I like the fact that on this one, the Redmi Y2, finally Xiaomi gave a dedicated micro SD card slot. So you can have about 2 nano SIMs and also a dedicated SD card slot. That way you can go with the base variant that comes for 10,000 rupees that has just 32 GB of storage, but you have that dedicated SD card slot. So that makes a lot of sense. Before we proceed ahead, here is a word from the sponsor of this video, that is Bank Bazaar. If you're looking to buy this smartphone, here is an awesome finance app that's as fast as this phone. Just enter a couple of details in Bank Bazaar app and get your credit card e-approval in 30 minutes. See link in description area for more details. Now moving to another thing is that this is the 3 GB RAM variant, and I thought the RAM management will be very bad, but it is not bad. The RAM management has been done well on this device, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, it has the face unlocking features, and also it has the fingerprint scanner, and as you can see, the fingerprint scanner actually is very well, so you don't have to worry about it. It works very well, and it's a fast fingerprint scanner. Now moving to the call quality, I tested this one in Hyderabad with Airtel 4G and Jio, and I had no issues in terms of call quality. But one thing to remember, guys, is that this device is not a true dual 4G device. So only one SIM card can be 4G, the other will revert to 3G or 3G or 2G. So you can't use two VoLTE SIMs on this one like you could do on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So that is something you have to note. And in terms of call quality, as I've told you, the call quality was fine. I had no issues. Now moving to the star of this one, I would say, is the camera, because if you look at it, it resembles the Redmi Note 5 Pro's camera. And right away, I would say the Redmi Note 5 Pro's camera is better than this. But again, considering the price point of the base variant that is selling for 10,000 rupees, the camera is actually good. It's not the best. Let's look at the samples that I've shot with the rear facing camera first. And as you can see, in outdoor lighting conditions, when the lighting conditions are good, the camera performs actually really good. And you also have that portrait mode using the second camera. It uses that for depth, and you get that good portrait mode. But one thing that I've noticed with this camera is that I have noticed this multiple times, when there is strong backlighting, as you can see, it simply does not light up the faces of the subjects, and this can be very annoying, and I've noticed this multiple times. So you got to be careful in those situations. Also, when we move to the low lighting situations, I would say the low lighting performance is just average, and you would start seeing a lot of noise in the picture and softness in the picture. And in actually pretty low lighting conditions, I would say the image quickly actually degrades, and in fact it's not a good idea to use the portrait mode in low lighting conditions. Now moving to the front facing camera, here I'm actually pretty impressed with the front facing camera. It's a 16 megapixel front facing camera, but using AI technologies, it can actually do that portrait or bokeh effect. And as you can see with the sample shots, even that bokeh effect comes out actually really good. In fact, it comes out in some situations better than the rear facing camera. Now moving to the video, the good thing I like about this one is that yes, the video is capped only till 1080p, no 4K, but it has electronic image stabilization. So I shot a few samples, so here it goes. Now recording this part of the video with the rear facing camera of the Redmi Y2, and I've set it to the highest resolution possible, that is 1080p, and I've also enabled the image stabilization. And as you can see, I'm just walking. The audio is also via its internal microphone. Let's also test the focusing speed. Let's bring it here. This is in focus, as you can see, and let's just go out. So as you can see, the focusing speed is also good in terms of video. Recording this part of the video with the front facing camera of the Redmi Y2, and I've set it to the highest resolution possible, that is 1080p, and I've also enabled the image stabilization option. And the audio that you're hearing is also via its internal microphone. I've just come out in a sunny area. Let's just go back and see how it handles the exposure. So this is the problem that I've noticed with this device. If the backlighting is strong, then it's not able to handle it, but apart from that, as you can see, it's able to handle stuff. So this is a sample with the front facing camera of the Redmi Y2. So as you can see, in terms of video, the video performance was actually very good, and the electronic image stabilization works very well for both the rear facing camera as well as the front facing camera. So these were the good things that I liked about this device. Now let's move to the cons. What are the things actually I did not like with this device? And the first thing is that though the screen size is a 5.99 inch screen, it's not a full HD screen. It's just a 720 plus HD screen, which is sort of a downgrade even from the Redmi Note 5. In fact, Xiaomi has been giving full HD screens in most of their smartphones at price point of about 10,000, and in that respect, that's a downgrade, I would say. And you notice that in outdoor conditions also, the screen is not too bright. So again, for very fine text, I notice that, but you might not notice it, but I'm used to high resolution screens, so I definitely noticed that. Now, moving to another thing that I mentioned in the camera samples is that if there is a bright light at the background, the exposure of the camera gets confused, and hence the pictures come out not to be that good. And I noticed this multiple times in my testing. Also, in terms of low lighting performance, if you are expecting that it will be a low light beast, definitely that's not the case. And in fact, as I mentioned earlier, the Redmi Note 5 Pro has a far better camera compared to this one. And also, I do not like the fact that instead of going with the metallic body, the Redmi Note 5, Redmi Note 4, etc., all had metallic body, but here it's a downgrade and it's a plastic body. It's just a paint job that they have done. I've scraped it and it's a plastic body. Also, moving to the performance, it's having the Snapdragon 625 chipset, which is a decent processor. But guys, now it's almost a 2-year-old processor, and for the most part, it ran fine. But I did notice some UI lag and stutters at times. So again, that is also something that you guys need to note. It's not always, but I did notice it at times. And another thing, as I mentioned, is no true dual 4G VoLTE, which can be actually very important moving forward. That is simply not supported on this device, and also it does not support fast charging. But again, you can omit that. At this price point, none of the manufacturers give fast charging. So these were the cons about the Redmi Redmi Y2. And I would certainly say at the price point of about 10,000 rupees, this is a good option. And the strengths are that it's great in selfies. So if you are particularly obsessed with the front facing camera, the front facing camera performance is actually really good. And also the rear facing camera performance is decent, apart from in difficult lighting conditions and low lighting conditions, it tends to struggle. But apart from that, for the price of about 10,000 rupees, even the rear facing camera performance is actually good. But the cons, as I mentioned, are the plastic back body and the 720p display. So again, earlier, whenever Xiaomi used to release the device, for example, the Redmi Note 4, Redmi Note 5 Pro, etc., I could easily recommend those devices because those devices were the best in the class. But that's not the case with this one. Yes, this is a good phone at the 10,000 rupees price point. But again, that you get just 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. If you want to go with the 4 gigabyte RAM variant that comes with 64 GB of internal storage, I feel that is simply does not offer any value. And if you want to spend that much, I feel you have better options in the market like the Asus Zenfone Max Pro or even the Realme One, which offer a lot more, like better processors and support true dual 4G VoLTE. So again, I would say I have mixed reactions about this phone. Certainly, if you have a budget of about 10,000 rupees, you can consider the 3 gigabyte RAM variant, but I would simply not recommend you the 4 gigabyte RAM model. So guys, that's it for now for this review of the Redmi Y2. And if you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.